Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to the video. This is a nice surprise for me. So this was recommended yesterday in the comment section, and I love the idea, or it may have been on the Stephen Platt video. I read it yesterday, but I actually have about 20 minutes to kill before I have to go run some errands, and I decided to knock this out. I was so excited about the recommendation, and I haven't seen these books in forever. I have both of them. These are digital files of them, so the scans are okay. They're not great. I'll probably have to tweak them a little bit as we look at them. But yeah, Tomb Raider, Witchblade, Michael Turner, Joe Weems. I mean, you really can't go wrong with that combination. I believe J.D. Smith is the colorist, and this is 1998, so it fits perfectly into our Image 30th anniversary special, which was, I had mentioned that I kind of wanted to do books that sort of were in that first kind of window of Image, when Image still looked like Image Comics. By around 2000, definitely the other trends and things were happening in comics. The Brian Hitch kind of Frank Quietly movement started to take hold, and even for like Wildstorm, we had ABC Comics. DC bought us in like 1999 ish, or early 2000s. So things were changing. Top Cow was even evolving. Aspen was formed. Is this an Aspen book? No, this is still Top Cow. But anyway, I love Tomb Raider. Blaster Kid is heavily influenced by video games, and if I was gonna name 5 or 10 video games that you know have the spirit of the adventure and the just kind of mystery and stuff. Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy. I mean, there's a whole bunch of games that I love the experience of playing them. So, all right, let's get into this. We've got beautiful cover. Mike always has just this lovely attention to detail. Rest in peace, Michael Turner. And his stuff is fun. I mean, as I was opening the files and kind of looking at them, you could definitely get this vibe of, and I usually will mention this in Michael Turner videos. Michael Turner and J. Scott Campbell were really hugely successful artists at this time, and I really do feel that there was this kind of friendly competition between the two to. Not only were they keeping an eye on each other, but I think that their work inspired each other, and we benefited as fans because we got better looking comics because of it. There was an attention to detail and storytelling anyway. But let's get into this. I could look at all these runes and sort of inscriptions all day. It's really fun to check out. All right, let's get to this. Bada boom, bada bing. A couple of files are out of order because I was trying to level them at first, and then I decided it would just be faster to do it as we look at the files. So, all right, this is Silvestri, I guess, variant cover. I don't know. They always would have a million variant covers. It's nice. I don't know if it captures the spirit of adventure, but anyway, that's what we got. And it was funny as I was considering. I've been kind of trying to figure out what Jim Lee. Someone had mentioned Jim Lee and like what Jim Lee Image comic book was I gonna do, and I wanted to do something kind of unexpected, and I kind of considered that point when Jim was getting influenced by Campbell, which Silvestri kind of did the same with Turner stuff. So let's look at the credits really quick. We've got Michael Turner and Bill O'Neill as writers. Michael Turner did the pencils. Joe Weems and Jason Gorder did the inks. Jonathan D. Smith colors. We've got Dennis Heisler, who's Mike Heisler's brother, on letters. David Wool, editor. Renee Geerlings. We've got Kucha as assistant penciler. In fact, we will definitely look at some Kucha stuff. Kucha got really good. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. I've never met him, I don't think. But Kucha was really good. Anyway, so we've got a couple of ink assistants here. We've got Marco Madman Gali, Aaron Stout, and John Livesey. And we've got the graphic designer, Peter Steigerwald, who ended up being a real super badass colorist, and Nicholas Chun production. I always like to give shout outs to all these people, and there's some special thanks here if you want to read them. But all right, let's get into this. This is going to be fun. I'm excited. I really am. When I saw the recommendation, I was like, hell yeah, Michael Turner, Tomb Raider, let's do this. I have like the little collected editions of these. I may have the singles. I think I do have the singles though, because I have a huge stack of Top Cow variant covers that a friend of mine at Top Cow had given me. So very classic Mike Turner face here. We got, a gala event at some sort of fancy schmancy museum or whatever it is, someone's home. I don't know. Nice attention to detail, though. It looks good. This is back before people would trace Google Earth. SketchUp. Oh, we all do it. Come on. Don't be sour. All right, what do we got? Uh-oh, she's stealing the cat pharaoh statue. Give it back, you old bitch. Oh man, I had fun doing the video yesterday. It was nice. It was really cool. All right, so we got columns now. Remember this because I will bring this up generally when I look at it. Really, anyone from Top Cow's art. These artists used assistants. They credit them and they used them. So as a fan, we get the benefit of a higher level of detail and intricacies and stuff like that. But it from what I've seen, and I'm not saying on this book, but I mean, if you've got 4 or 5 inkers on a book, or even two pencilers, I mean, it's very possible that Kuchal drew all the backgrounds. I because that's just how Top Cow created stuff. You know, Turner could draw the shit out of backgrounds. There's no doubt in my mind, but it was just kind of how they worked. They got used to a certain methodology of working, and they were cranking out the books and spending 5 to 10 hours drawing columns on a building or windows could be tedious. And I think once they didn't do it, they just didn't really want to go back to it. The hands are nice here. I actually really like the way Mike draws hands. So if John Livesey sees this, he could probably comment on it. He worked there. My friend Joel Gomez did assistance for Michael Turner for a while, and Joel does really, really detailed backgrounds. He actually did backgrounds for Silvestri and for Jim Lee, too. But he drew the shit out of the backgrounds. All right, so let's check this out. But Tomb Raider is just a very, very fun playground. I've never really followed the comic that closely, but in terms of just a concept, I mean, it's fun. Indiana Jones-ish kind of adventure. Danger Girl kind of captured, the James Bond, Indiana Jones sort of spirit. I think that stuff is really fun. I mean, it makes for a fun read. You get a lot of wild characters. You get to travel the globe with your characters. It's not just in one city, sort of stuck in limbo. You can really do a lot with it. And so I recommend this too. Is if you are a huge Michael Turner fan, I highly, highly recommend the Superman Batman graffiti edition of his pencils only book, kind of like an artist edition. It's really good. I've done a video of it. You can look it up on my channel. If I can, I'll put a link in the description box. But it's badass. I've done probably 2 videos on it because it's always interesting going back and looking at it. But yeah, it's really good. But this is nice, what, I forgot what they called it. Kelsey knew the name, I think, or someone I think Kelsey brought it up. It's when you flip through a comic book at the comic book store and you're deciding if you're going to buy it or not. Pages like this always would start to get me to go, okay, like if I see another page with this kind of level of attention to detail, I need to get this and give it a closer gander when I get home. So, I can't remember the term that Kelsey used, but I agree. I mean, I think there's a certain amount of pages that if they look badass in the comic book, I'm gonna buy it, even if I don't know who the artist is or if I don't follow the title. They've won me over. They've won me over by their hard work. And wow, this is really dark. Oh man, how fun. Like if you're my age, you may have played like the first Tomb Raider game or first 2 or 3 or whatever. But man, the first Tomb Raider game was so fun when it first came out. Oh my gosh. But this is giving me the feels. So fun. I miss those days. I worked at Wildstorm, I think, when all that stuff was coming out. I could be off on the date a little bit, but definitely when I was still playing games on a regular basis was the first maybe 5 years I was at Wildstorm. Because I played Tomb Raider with Travis. Travis and I played it together. I had already had the game, and then he got it, or I brought it to his house, and we were playing Tomb Raider together. It was really fun actually watching him play it, because you've got this, kind of genius artist who's got some sort of mental vision that's just off the charts, and then you're watching him sort of soak in like a video game. It was really interesting, but he was very methodical. As my memory was, it was like, man, he looked these rooms up and down to really make sure that there was no like hidden clue or item that he was gonna miss. It was real funny. I was like, dude, there's nothing in this room, let's go. Really funny. Oh man, this is so badass. Oh my god, I can't wait to draw Blaster Kid. Can someone come to my house and finish Crystal Planet for me, please? I just want to draw Blaster Kid. It's going to be so fun. It's such a kick-ass book. Oh my god. You guys are going to die. And then the great thing is I'm going to stick to the title for a long time. This isn't a one-pump deal. I'm going to do Blaster Kid hopefully for the next 5 or 10 years. As long as the book sells, I'm going to continue to do it. So I'm all in on it. And there's a whole world to explore. Characters on every continent. Mystery, intrigue, adventure. Boobs. She's like, boobs too, Rich? Yes, boobs. Many. There's an island full of them. No. Alright, Witchblade. She's got that Giger-esque, scalloped, creepy armor. I forgot what... Joel had a name for it. What do you call it? I remember him saying... Maybe it was scallops. Something like that. But yeah, he had kind of a name for that thing. But man, they all got so good at doing that. There's actually a really fun ad in this book for a few comics that it'll be neat to see. And I wouldn't mind actually looking at them, honestly. So this was one. I remember this book, Spirit of... I don't know, do you call it Tao? Tao? So, I really do wonder what happened to D-Tron, because D-Tron was not only a great inker, but kind of a big deal. He was one of those famous inkers. You had Bat, Joe Weems, Scott Williams, D-Tron, Alex Garner. Those guys were really, on hot pencilers and doing the do. So, but yeah, I see an ad like this. I was a big fan of Onimusha. I don't know if you guys remember that game, but Onimusha was fun and kind of was probably around this time, actually. Oh, look at that. That's cool, too. Arabian Nights. Oh, wow. That is really cool. Look at her. She's like, hello. Come. Oh, this is the old lady that stole that statue. And now, look, there it is right there. She's like, how odd is the return of the senses after a countless age of stasis. Odd, yet refreshing. Get it. Bring it. I actually do a lot of sound effects when I read comics to myself. That's how I know I'm in it. All right. This is, interesting. Actually, this big first panel is great. That's a nice shot. So my first introduction to Turner was Ballistic. I think that's the first book that I saw him on, and he was so good. He came out of the gate just a badass. It was so kick-ass. Each issue, that was a 3-issue miniseries. It was really, really great. All right. Let's see here. We're gonna actually look at another book too. We're not just looking at this one. Let me rotate this. Let's see if we can get this file a little less juicy. Okay. I like stuff like this. This is nice. That's cool. We get the big shot of them standing there. Mike's characters were long. It would be interesting to actually do like a draw over on this and actually look at it with no detail. Because, you count heads on figures. Here, I'll do it really quick just for brush. But, imagine how many heads there are through this whole body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not that bad. It looks really long when you see it though, based on the size of her head. Whoop. There. Yeah, it's interesting. She's super lanky. Jeff would do this thing early on. Campbell would have this like this, but he would actually really make the lower legs super long, like on Fairchild and stuff like that. He weaned it out of his stuff by around the third or fourth issue of Gen 13, but you can still see it at some times. This is nice, man. I'm just gonna like lighten this a little bit. I actually like these black silhouettes that he's using for some of these panels. I think it actually looks really good. Like the one spread with the adventurer guy was nice too. I would have loved to see him do a like if he would have done like 12 issues of this book, man, I would have been all in on that. That would have been fantastic because he's really good at this type of material. Okay, we'll just look at these ones that are here. So this was an ad. We've got a Jay Anacleto cover here. Who's this? Randy Green cover convention, and then this piece. I remember this era of the like sexy girl sort of like source book pieces or swimsuit things. Kind of funny. Companies don't really do it anymore. I mean, I never was that impressed by the swimsuit issues, to be honest. It's like it was cool to see all the different artists do it, but I mean, I don't really miss them, to be honest. I'd be more interested in like an Armory source book or like a some kind of thing like that. This is a nice establishing shot, man. It's great. This is cool. Mike always puts a lot of detail on his like bullet, like when windshields break. There's a great scene in Witchblade that he did that. This is awesome. Okay, all right. And, look at this one finally. This is nice. This shot kind of reminds me of something that J. Scott Campbell would do in like Danger Girl. Man, Danger Girl is so good. It holds up really well. I mean, honestly, if you go through and look at Danger Girl, it's a really, really fun adventure book. Those first few issues are excellent. All right. So here's the Ascension Head. This is awesome. You know, it's incredible because David really did a beautiful job on this piece. But I mean, David is a far more advanced artist now, and this is high level stuff. I mean, this is really great. So Ascension, he kind of burned out on it quite quick though, unfortunately. But the good stuff is good. But you can kind of cherry pick like through the first like 9 books and get a pretty fun fix of this content. Let's see here. This is nice. Really cool ad. I mean, if I bought this comic book, this Tomb Raider book, and I saw this as an upcoming book, I'd be like, damn, dude, this looks awesome. And this was very different for the time. I mean, I can't think of a lot of books besides Aquaman, which no one gave a shit about Aquaman at this point. Or like, I don't think Namor was really doing anything, but there wasn't a lot of underwater books, so this was actually a pretty fresh idea, for comics. I think really cool. These guys are really badass looking. Man, Turner was great. It's such a fucking shame that guy passed away. So this is Randy Green. It's a nice piece. Randy's a little more cartoony than some of the Top Cow guys, but I always thought he was an excellent penciler. Really good. I did a couple of trading cards, I think, over him at some point in my Wildstorm days. And then here's this other piece, a little bit out of order. And then, like I said, we're gonna look at one more book, so you hang tight, little friends. We got time. I should leave in like 12 minutes. I don't think the place that I'm going to opens till like 9:30. So. Oh, he shrunk down into a kitten, or vice versa. Oh, is it the lady? I wasn't really paying attention to the storytelling. Oh, okay, so she's yeah, I'm just sort of like I kind of wing it when I do the videos, so that's really cool. These artists were so badass. Okay, so now let's do this. We're gonna grab a whole nother book. This is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing this. This book to me looked a little bit more like Mike drew the whole thing. We'll check out this Kucha piece. Like Kucha came in and he was really really good. He added like not, I wouldn't call it realism, but his stuff reminded me a little bit of maybe like leaning towards like Michael Lopez, where he probably used a little more reference than some of the Top Cow guys to get some of the beauty of the girls and stuff like that, but still had a really good handle on what Top Cow was sort of famous for. So you could see where a guy that would draw like this would be pretty helpful as a background penciler or just a pencil assistant, quote unquote. You're like, hey man, draw this cat, the guns, all of this shit. Let me know when you're done. All right. All right. Cover. Michael Turner. Got Joe Weems. What a gig for Joe, man, to work with Turner during this era. It's incredible. Incredible. It's amazing. Like, man, if I was D-Tron, I would have never, ever let that Michael Turner gig go. But maybe Turner wanted something different. Hard to say. I don't know the circumstances of why there was a switch. But this is great. Really, really cool. Guns are actually pretty nice. Fun looking gun. Okay. Oh, sorry. All right, credits. We've got Michael Turner, story and pencils, Joe Weems inks, Jonathan Davis colors, Robin Sphere and Dennis Heisler letters. Pencil assists on this are Brian Ching, and then we've got Marco Madman Gali and Victor Yamas ink assists, and all that other stuff. And this was 1998. So very, very good year for comics. A lot of kick-ass shit coming out in 98. It was kind of like this is how I look at it, is 92 to about 95 was a real golden era. 96 to 97 was the purge, meaning that all the glut that had accumulated in this era was being sort of jettisoned because the companies had to tighten the reins on things. In 98 you were getting served up the best of what remained from this, and then there was a new level of skill that was sort of required to do comics. But yeah, there was a pretty big purge between 95 and 97-ish where a lot of the hundreds of people that were getting hired to do comics were not as useful as the companies wanted to have a more focused canon of books and artists. Binge purge. Guess it's kind of accurate though in a weird way. All right, so we've got some big creepy monster. Looks to be like maybe something exotic with this like striping on it. Past the fact that his hand is as big as a human, so something's up. Me thinks something's up. Really nice attention to detail on the buildings. Really nice establishing shot page. Colors look great. Top Cow was really, really dominating colors at this point. Their coloring department had really kind of stepped it up, and everybody that was a colorist was definitely taking note and had to learn new techniques and push their skills too, which again is healthy competition. You want that. I'm looking for competition right now in my own mind, not actively, but I know how important it is, and so it's like I have to look at the business like that, where it's like, your book is good, all right, I need to make mine better, So I'm using everything that I've learned throughout my career and dumping it into what I attempt to do next. All in. It's kind of funny. Pretty cool monster, actually. It's kind of neat. His head is a little nondescript, but past that, it's pretty nice. There she is. This ends here, murderer. volume. Was always interesting. If you can find any of Michael Turner's like the stuff that was inked by other people in black and white, they're pretty cool looking originals. Sometimes they're very empty though, and the line work is quite thin. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. I've seen enough of it to have a pretty good idea of what they would look like. But a piece like this, you'd be surprised with no color how thin the line work is on them. Again, this is a real detailed background thing that he's got going on here. Now, again, I don't know if Brian Ching drew all that or if Mike did, but it looks great. He's got the core shirt on. That's funny. Here we go. Yeah, I would have loved to seen him do like, man, even like 80 or 100 pages of this stuff would have been so awesome. So it feels like they were just kind of getting the ball rolling on it, and then he obviously wanted to do his own book, which was smart, you know. I actually respect the fact that he opted to do Fathom and own it, you know. I think it was a wise move. Because it's like you're never gonna own Tomb Raider, and you're never, you know, you're just not gonna get the rewards for all your hard work to the level that the companies do. That's the bait that artists take. Their love of a character or property. Man, that's really cool. He does. It was funny. As I remember when I got the files for this, I was looking at the rug on some of the pages coming up. Like there's a nice attention to detail on this rug, and some of the other pages. This is so detailed. These faces that does, and with Joe's like inks, it makes it look so crusty and like it reminds me of like a rock that you would like lava. Yep, very cool. All right, so what do we got here? Lots of rocks. Bar Harbor, Maine. I'm not getting a Maine vibe from this, but maybe I've not been to this part of Maine. Really nice colors on these pages. Oh, that's cool. I love the scale of this room. Man, that is awesome. Seems like it would be really difficult if you wanted to grab a book from up here, but maybe that's just me. You'd have very tall ladders. This poor guy is in a wheelchair, though. But he also seems like he might have some magical powers. You have made it all possible. Your father would have been proud. Boom, boom, boom. Ta-da. So this is how he gets the books. He grows wings. This almost feels like a pinup of someone. Like I'm not getting full on Mike Turner vibes from this face, to be honest. That doesn't look like Mike. The other face does more, but yeah, it's weird. It could be the colors. I'm not really sure. I guess it does look like Mike. It's a little. I don't know. Her eyes. cool and cool. My only criticism of this comic is for someone that's a Tomb Raider fan is I want them on an adventure. It's cool that all this stuff is going on in like a house in Maine, but I'm already feeling like I want them globe trotting a bit more. My own personal, whatever. But I know, I mean, you have to ground stuff at some point. So this is only one story, but. And the grand finale. He's an old friend of the family. Uh-oh. This guy's still up to his evil doing. So, all right, we got some Tomb Raider. I think overall I prefer the art in this one. I felt was a little bit better in some ways than the first story, but the first story to me I kind of liked better in terms of the content. But both are really nice. Joe's inks are incredible. The colors are amazing, and Mike always brings it, But yeah, the colors on this were awesome. Sorry, you guys have a great day. That was fun. Thank you very much for the recommendation, and now I won't be back though for a few days for sure because I wasn't really planning on doing this video in the first place. But all right, you guys have a good day. Smash the like if you made it to the end of the video, please. It definitely helps the channel, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. I'm working super hard to get Crystal Planet done so I can get on Blaster Kid as fast as possible. So just be a little patient, and I'll have this all done. I'm very disciplined. All right, later.